Hello and welcome to A Gypsy Kiss. I am Shelley Carney. I'm the Magical Treasure Princess and life coach to the rich and famous, and I am the host of Important Words. Today, our important word is hint. We'll get started on that in just a moment. Okay, here we go. So today's word is hint, and let's get started. The definition of a hint is suggest or indicate something indirectly or covertly. Of course, that's the verb of it, to hint, to suggest or indicate something indirectly or covertly. And from the poem we see, and hint of riches, new and old. So, we go to the thrill of the chase, page 59. Quote, anyway, after telling my parents that my elbow needed some room, I mentioned to my friend Donnie Joe that I was going out to look for Lewis and Clark. He was quick to take the hint and said he would just ride along and help me keep the mountains company. So he mentioned to his friend that he was going to go look for Lewis and Clark, and that was a hint that he wanted some company. So Donnie Joe caught the hint and went with him. He insinuated that he wanted him to go by just telling him about it, I suppose. In Too Far to Walk, page 78, quote, the myriad words required to explain the war deeds that define him are prohibitive in this space, but a hint can be given by looking at the medals he was awarded. Hint. In this case, basically, you get the idea of it. You understand, because of all of the medals he was awarded, that he did a lot during the war. Once upon a while, page 151, quote, this time we dined at the Bull Ring, and I hinted that she should have a burger. He didn't come right out and tell the woman, you should have a burger. He hinted that she should. And if you read the rest of the story, you'll see that she didn't take the hint. So apparently he was a little too subtle when he hinted in that case. February 4th, 2013, from Mysterious Writings, 6 questions. And Forrest says, what I didn't expect was the number of people who immediately started searching maps and using Google Earth to locate their special spots. Many have read my book multiple times, looking for additional clues or even hints that might assist them in the hunt. Forrest did tell us there were going to be hints sprinkled in the pages. So, people started looking for them in the book. March 4th, 2013, CBC Radio As It Happens. The clues are in the poem, and my book has hints that will help a person with the clues. The book won't take you to the treasure chest, but the book will help you with the clues that are in the poem. So indirectly, they help to explain the clues. Indirectly. And you have to figure out where they are, and what they are, and what they point to. Very subtle. April 3rd, 2013, New Zealand radio interview. In my book, there are several hints that won't take you to the treasure chest, but they will help with the clues that are in the poem. It's not going to be easy to find, and nobody's going to accidentally trip over this thing. They're going to have to figure out the clues, decipher what they say, and go right straight to the treasure chest. As you see, I bolded the word several. In a couple of cases, people asked Forrest Fenn how many hints were in the book. And once he says a couple, here he says several. So I have to kind of take that into consideration. April 11th, 2013, an article in HuffPost by Margie Goldsmith entitled $3 Million Treasure Still Waiting to be Found. Quote from Forrest. This is going to get me in trouble, but I have to say it. The following words have nothing to do with the treasure chest I hid, and they will give no hints or associations to its location. Association is a mental connection between ideas or things. So that also informs us what the word hint means to Forrest. Hints or associations. Mental connection. Mental connection. April 24th, 2013. This is a YouTube video. Forrest Fenn's Hidden Treasure. It's still out there. Quote, what I recommend is that you read my book normally. Then you read the poem over and over and over again and just think about every line. Read it 4 or 5, 10 times, and then go back and read the book again slowly, looking for hints in the book that will help you with the clues in the poem. As you can see, I bolded the word read. I did that because he didn't say study the book. He didn't say investigate the photographs or the illustrations or check out those postmarks. He said read the book normally and then read it again looking for hints in the book. So take that as you will. Alright, we have May 24th, 2013. The 9 Clues, Part 22 from Dale Neitzel's blog. Quote from Forrest. All of the information you need to find the treasure is in the poem. The chapters in my book have very subtle hints, but are not deliberately placed to aid the seeker. Good luck in the search. Again, the chapters in my book have very subtle hints. It doesn't say the photos, it doesn't say the illustrations. He says the chapters and to read. July 8th, 2013. This is a post on the internet, an interview posted by Holly Johnson and Forrest Fenn. Quote from Forrest, here is what I would do. Read my book in a normal manner, then read the poem over and over and over slowly, thinking. Then read my book again, this time looking for subtle hints that will help solve the clues. So, telling us to read, looking for hints, subtle hints. This time he includes the word subtle. This is from August 8th, 2013, Everything is Stories interview. Quote from Forrest, I have some advice. Read the book and then study the poem over and over. Read it over and over, maybe even memorize it. And then go back and read the book again, looking for hints that are in the book that are going to help you with the clues that are in the poem. That's the best advice that I can give. You have to find out. You have to learn where the first clue is. They get progressively easier after you discover where the first clue is. Read the book. Here I want to point out that he says study the poem, but he says read the book, as in reading the text. Again, not studying the photos or the illustrations or the colophons or anything else, but reading the book. November 2nd, 2013, at Forrest Fenn at Moby Dickens Bookshop in Taos. This is on YouTube on a Gypsy Kiss channel. Quote, there are 9 clues in the poem, but if you read the book, there are a couple of good hints, and then there are a couple of aberrations that live out on the edge. So, couple of hints, couple of aberrations. He's also said several hints, as we saw earlier. So he may have reconsidered what was a hint and what was an aberration, something unusual that sticks out. And another quote from the same interview, there are no clues in this book, but there are some hints. What I tell people to do, and when he says there are no clues in this book, he's talking about Too Far to Walk. because that's what the question was about. There are no clues in Too Far to Walk, but there are some hints. What I tell people to do, if you're really serious about looking for the treasure, get the thrill of the chase and read it, and then go back and read the poem over and over and over again, and then go back and read the book again, but slowly, looking at every little abstract thing that might catch up in your brain, that might be a hint to help you with the clues. Any part of some is better than no part of any. I don't think that will help you much. I don't know which part is, he's not thinking it's going to help us much. The any part of some is better than no part of any. Or he doesn't think that he's giving us any clues to tell us to go back and read the book again. May 2014. Dale Neitzel's blog, Scrapbook 69. Quote from Forrest: "Occasionally I get an email from a searcher who presents a different twist to the story. I always get permission before forwarding it to Dale to post. This is one of those. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not hinting that the treasure is hidden on top of a rock with a bear guarding it." In this case, he could have said insinuating. I'm not insinuating. May 2014. Dale Neitzel's blog, Scrapbook 70. Quote from Forrest: "I wrote this poem in 5 minutes to counter Dale's malicious Garmin malplacement of the treasure. There are as many hints in this poem as there are dents in Esmeralda, who still glides the tar top after 294,000 miles. Dale must be on to something. Dale must be on something. And I don't think it's sarsaparilla." So he says there are as many hints in this poem as there are dents in Esmeralda, which is the van that Dale owns. So if there are dents in a van that's driven 294,000 miles, which I would assume there would be, then there must be hints in this poem that Forrest wrote in 5 minutes. "Don't tell me, Dale, in whispers hushed, of golden hoards and treasures lush, and broken trails and bushes crushed, or shattered dreams lost in the rush. But say it true and not a fib, and to make it plain without the glib, I'll set my spinnaker and jib, and go directly for the scrib. I don't know what scrib means, but it rhymes, and that's all I care about." So what hints might be in here? Could it be, he's talking about gold and treasures, broken trails, bushes crushed, shattered dreams lost in the rush, broken trails, bushes crushed. Could be a small hint. Say it true and not a fib, and make it plain without the glib. I'll set my spinnaker and jib. Well, here is some nautical talk, right? So put in below the home of Brown, spinnaker and jib, a little bit of nautical talk. What do you think? Moving on to June 2014, Dale Neitzel's blog, Scrapbook 78. Quote from Forrest: "I have never consciously misled any searcher or privately given a hint or clue I thought would help someone find the treasure." So he does separate out hints and clues. Of course, clues are in the poem, and hints are the things that help us figure out the clues. That's how he's separating it out, and he says he's never given a hint or a clue to any one individual. If he's going to share something, he's going to share it with everybody. November 2014, Dale Neitzel's blog, Scrapbook 102. "A few relatives know that I'm blank years older than my wife, so I can't talk about that either because anyone who's good at math could figure it out. But I'll give you a hint. All of my friends tell me I don't look 49. So I'm not going to tell you straight out, but I'm going to insinuate, or I'm going to imply, or I'm going to say some things that will help you to figure it out." Hint. December 11th, 2014, Mysterious Writings. Question was: "You say the clues in the poem are to be followed in consecutive order. You have also said the book holds subtle hints. Are these subtle hints in consecutive order in relation to how they help with clues in the poem, too?" Thank you, Joseph. Answer from Forrest. That's right, Joseph. You should start with the first clue and follow the others consecutively to the treasure. Hints in the book are not that organized, so they're not all in order. February 4th, 2015, Mysterious Writings. Question. In your memoir, The Thrill of the Chase, after the poem, you mentioned there are subtle clues sprinkled throughout the book. You've said you hadn't deliberately placed these subtle hints in your book, but have you done so in any of your other writings mentioned in question 2, which was above this one, including scrapbooks, vignettes, etc.? Or even if maybe not purposely sprinkled in those writings of question 2, would you consider some of those to contain subtle hints too, like in The Thrill of the Chase? So what this question is asking is, are there hints in any of your other writings, including scrapbooks, vignettes, and other things that he puts up on Dale's blog? And the answer is, I don't want to broaden the clues and hints I've written about by pointing them out. What surprises me a little is that nobody, to my uncertain knowledge, has analyzed one important possibility related to the winning solve. It's interesting that he didn't want to answer, are there hints in the scrapbooks? He won't answer. And instead of answering that, he gives you this juicy nugget that really doesn't mean anything in the end. Oh, nobody's really figured this one thing out. I know something you don't know. Thanks, that's not at all helpful. May 2015, Dale Neitzel's blog, Scrapbook 166. Question. Do you intend to keep releasing occasional small hints for as long as you live? Have you made any plans for clues to continue surfacing after your death? Forrest answers, no, sir. Question. How much more likely are hunters to work out where warm waters halt with the aid of The Thrill of the Chase compared to without it? Forrest answers, you sure ask confounding but insightful questions. The clues are in the poem, but there are hints in the book. So basically reiterating what he's told us all along, not really giving any answers to that question that we haven't already heard before. And the confounding is defined as cause surprise or confusion in someone, especially by acting against their expectations. So you ask questions that surprise or confuse me, but they are insightful, or they're having or showing an accurate and deep understanding, or they are perceptive. It's a perceptive question, but it surprised me. But I'm not going to answer it except to tell you the same thing I've said 100 times. The clues are in the poem, the hints are in the book. He's always said, everything you need to know is in the poem, and the book has hints that will help you figure it out. Okay, this is from May 29th, 2015, the Richard Eads Show's podcast. And Forrest says, well, there are 9 clues in my poem, and the poem is in my book, and I am not going to give any more clues. There are hints in my book that will help you with the clues. A clue will point you toward the treasure chest, and a hint will just help you with the clues. A lot of people think the treasure chest is in Montana around Hebgen Lake and the Gallatin National Forest. That was very important to me when I was a kid. I've said that in my books, and they see that as a hint to where the treasure is. I find it interesting that he pointed that out. To me, it sounded a little bit like, I don't know why they're looking there, but I guess it's because it was important to me when I was a kid. So let that kind of inform you as well. This is from the Venn diagrams. Question for Forrest. Will the subtle clues in the book be explained somewhere, sometime? Maybe you have a book to be published once the chest is found. Answer from Forrest. The hints in the Thrill of the Chase text will not be made public because they would say more than I want to reveal. Discovering which hints to use is part of the mystery. Again, I want to point out that I bolded the word text. The hints in the thrill of the chase, text. Not photographs, not illustrations, not postmarks, not colophons, not anything else but text. Just want to point that out to you. Let that inform your theories. Forrest Gets Mail, number 9, Dale Neisel's blog from November 2nd, 2015. Question: is it an advantage to buy The Thrill of the Chase and Too Far to Walk? Answer: there are hints in my Thrill of the Chase book that can help solve the clues in the poem. In other words, he did not say you should buy Too Far to Walk because it has hints in it, although he said at Moby Dickens that there were hints. So, who knows? This is from May 27, 2016, the Richard Eads Show podcast. From Forrest: it's not a matter of trying, it's a matter of thinking. Read the poem, read the book, because there are some hints in the book that will help you with the clues in the poem. But sure, people have figured the first couple of clues and unfortunately walked right past the treasure chest. Read the poem, read the book. And that's it for hints. So what I have come to conclude, where's my little cursor here? There we go. What I've come to conclude is that the word hint for Forrest Fenn means to insinuate. He indicates that the hints in the book are there in a subtle manner, and if you can find them and figure them out, they'll help you to decipher the clues in the poem. So we know that much. We also can see that he said that the hints are in the text of the book, and we need to read the book to find the hints that are there. They're not placed deliberately, so they're just mingled in the stories in such a way, I feel, that if you know where the treasure is, then you would easily see those hints in the book. Oh yeah, since the treasure is here, I looked there, and that obvious now that this was a hint all along. But if you don't know where the treasure is, you may have a really, really, really difficult time discerning which words in the book are hints that are going to help you figure out the clues in the poem. Now, Forrest tells us everything you need to know to find the treasure is in the poem. That may be so. Nobody's found it in 10 years, 11 years. So maybe there's enough there for some people. Maybe there's enough there for Forrest Fenn. But apparently there's not enough there for any of us. Keep looking for those hints in the text of The Thrill of the Chase. I know we're going to do that in the Member Vault VIP membership. So if you're interested in joining the VIP membership, make sure you go to gypsykiss.com and join us there. We're going to be pulling apart that book, The Thrill of the Chase, together and looking for those hints so we can figure out those clues and find where warm water halts, and that will lead us to the treasure. Thanks for joining me today, and for Gypsy's Kiss, I'm Shelley Carney.